And just like that, game 3 is snuck around after an epic encounter in Perth in the jungle. 40 minutes of hell from the Wildcats and their fans, and they got home with a 1-point win. It is all on the line tonight. Regular season records mean nothing, and these three men have a great responsibility to control the physicality of these two teams, who enjoy getting underneath the skin of Vaughan Maybury, Brad Gersh. We're looking forward to controlling proceedings. Michael Aylan as well. Rob Beveridge has enjoyed a great grand final series of quotable quotes and great coaching, and that is the starting five. Damien Martin will be out there on his gimpy ankle. An awkward fall in game 2. Kevin Lish shooting 37% in the finals but scoring over 20 points a game. Cam Tovey was scoreless in game 2, but he had 6 rebounds. Sean Redditch, we heard about his block, and Luke Neville, such a big factor early on with his deep twos. Let's go to the Breakers starting five. Cedric Jackson rolled his ankle at training, but he's good to go. Daryl Corletto went scoreless in game 2 as well, but Thomas Abercrombie is back, and he's almost 100%. Mika Vakona, well, he called himself out in the media. He says he needs to do more. And Gary Wilkinson couldn't do any more. In fact, he was so good he scored for Perth in game 2. Sporting drama at its best. 40 minutes of grand finals basketball is ahead. Wherever you're watching around New Zealand, welcome along to the broadcast. If you're watching this delayed on the 10 network, if you're watching it live in Western Australia at Perth, enjoy it. It is going to be one heck of a game. Game 3, this is why they play. Underway, and it will be the Breakers controlling the first set. 9,125, finding their voice early at Vector. Inside to Abercrombie, blocked by Neville with the fall away.
Well, that's a shot that Tommy Abercrombie needs his full athleticism to get over the big 7-footer.
Gimpy left ankle is Redditch. It's fouled by Gary Wilkinson on that baseline spin.
And that's a big, tough cover for Gary Wilkinson with the quickness of Sean Redditch. Probably not the matchup they're looking for the most of the night, but got switched up in transition.
Stripped by Vakona. Here come the Breakers. Abercrombie rises up, a little strong. Vakona has an offensive board. He's on the ground. Has it, scoop shot. Rather a pass to Corletto, and misses it, but Cedric Jackson just calms it all right back down.
The Breakers already doing a better job on the offensive glass than they did in game 2.
Corletto curls, floater, up, rolls in. 2 points for Daryl Corletto. He needed that to drop after a quiet game 2.
The patented runner gets him going again. Getting that early shot from close might get his long-range eye in a little bit better as well.
Martin on the wing, troubled by that ankle, inside to Neville. Double team, Wilkinson has it. Overhead to Jackson. Tovey and Martin on him, hoping to contain him. Abercrombie wide open, 3 on the way. Bangs it in, Tom Abercrombie with a confidence-building 3 himself.
Poor transition defense there by the Perth Wildcats. Paid way too much attention to the ball handler. Thomas Abercrombie was sitting at the 3-point line for 3 or 4 seconds, just hoping to get a look at that wide open 3. And when he got it, it went splash.
I should say Lamanis just having a bit of a chat. The officiating crew there. Well, Tom Abercrombie got hit as he released the ball.
He's been working the refs all week in the paper. He might as well work him at the game too.
They certainly have. Not really clouded messages coming through the papers, internet I should say, as Martin puts it up for Neville. Nice little lob pass for Luke Neville.
Luke Neville, fantastic starter in this series, really comes out to play in the early couple of minutes. And Damien Martin, just a fantastic pass, getting right by the rim for an easy finish.
Vakona drives on Martin. Kicks it out to Wilkinson. 3 over the top of Neville. That hits nothing but the bottom of the net.
And that's what Gary Wilkinson is so hard to guard. He drives those first 7-footers away from the basket. If they sag too deep, he punishes them with a deep 3.
Rove Beveridge wanting to chase him off that 3-point line. It's not working at the moment. Redditch sets his feet. Neville gets around Wilkinson. Puts it up. Lish has it. Inside to Redditch. Double teamed. Now single coverage by Abercrombie. Shakes and bakes and puts it up. Drops to Sean Redditch. Nice move from the veteran.
So many fakes on one play. He had Tommy Abercrombie guessing and he guessed wrong. Excellent head and shoulder fake there.
Wilkinson faces up on Neville. You'll like the quickness here as he drives left-handed. Spins too strong. Hits the ground and Gary Wilkinson a little wild.
Well, Gary Wilkinson didn't need that step back away from it. He already beat him off the dribble, but decided to take a little bit extra with the spin move, and that gave Luke Neville a chance to close the gap and affect that jumper.
That's the real size factor of Luke Neville coming through early in this first quarter. Vacona scoops it up around Neville, gets another block. And Tovey has it. Luke Neville being a big factor at both ends. Tovey kicks it to Lish. He stepped out.
And just not quite in the right spot. Kevin Tovey had a great look at the layup. Decided to kick it to the great 3-point shooter in Kevin Lish, but just outside, heel on the out of bounds line, and that's a turnover.
Just like that, 3 minutes, 10 seconds have gone in this first quarter. Mika Vacona will take a seat and Dylan Boucher checks into the game.
We're going to need a lot of subs if they're going to play at this intensity. These guys are going to get tired quick.
The break is not quite as deep as they have been over the last season. DJ Anthony out with an ankle injury. Offensive foul as Abercrombie just went straight over the top of Damian Martin, and Andre Lamanos is angry.
Damian Martin just using his basketball smarts. He may not be 100%, but when you're as clever a player as he is, just stepped right in front of Thomas Abercrombie, and it's the right call. He's trying to go through him. He fell down. The breaker's been complaining about flops, but if he's in front of you, you just got to go cut back door, take what the defense is giving you. And right now, the Wildcats look to have the breakers' plays pretty well scouted, and they're taking a lot of stuff away from him.
That is why Damian Martin is the back-to-back defending defensive player of the year in the league, as Lish strikes a 2 over the outstretched arm of Abercrombie.
Kevin Lish has really struggled in the first half of the final series so far, but he gets that mid-range jumper. It didn't even look like it was touching the rim. The Wildcats would love to see him get hot early.
So far, it's been a high-quality game. There was a threat of it just being a defensive struggle as Wilkinson front rims it. Lish has it. Luke Neville is up, but Gary Wilkinson hustles back, gets the steal.
Not just the steal, but gains possession without having to throw it back.
He drives and gets a foul on Luke Neville, who swears he got all ball, and the breakers already have 10 shots, 9 shots I should say, and 3 steals as well, and they have an early lead.
Well, that's how you take it to a shot blocker. You don't go away from him, you go right to him, right into his body, and take away his ability to block the shot by keeping him grounded, and that time it turned into a foul as well.
Matty Knight checks in for big Luke Neville. Tovey's in, out as well, I should say. Into the game is Greg Hire. Had a big game in game 2. Did Greg Hire, 12 points, 4 rebounds, 6 of 8 from the free throw line as Wilkinson hits both. Lish slips momentarily but regains. Hire left well alone underneath the hoop. Good look. And Greg Hire gets 2.
Well, you know the Perth Wildcats are used to practicing against pressure because that's their favorite defense. They're going to know how to attack it.
Abercrombie's in the corner. 3 ball is good. Tom Abercrombie.
And man, does he have his eye in from deep in the finals. The semifinal as well, he's been shooting the ball at a great clip. If you give him that much space, it feels like it's going to be nothing but net.
Matty Knight with great position, just pushed Gary Wilkinson out of the way. Wilkinson, not a great defender, will have his hands full. Matty Knight just been sensational as a hard, dirty worker down there for Perth.
Yeah, he's shooting a great percentage, averaging 15 points a game in a foul, but you have to make it harder than that for a guy in the post.
Jackson drives, kicks it out. He reckons it was tapped, and it was. And the breakers will have it.
Getting some love from the officiating crew on the side. That's what you love to see from them, working together. If one guy misses a call, somebody else sees it. Here we see it, trying to tip it down, going around, and ooh, it was an early tap from Matty Knight, but might have gone off as Cedric Jackson last. Easy to see in slow motion, tough to see.
Pledger and Bruton, so excuse me, Casey, Pledger and Bruton in the game. So it's swapping out the 7-footers. Both teams, Corletto and Wilkinson on the bench. Brad Robbins is also out there for the Wildcats. 8 to shoot. Jackson over the top of Lish. Pledger with the tip, and he's fouled by Redditch over the back. Alex Pledger. Only 11 minutes in game 2, mainly because Gary Wilkinson was so hot.
He was on fire, but what a great defensive matchup for Alex Pledger. With that size, he can make it a lot more difficult for Matty Knight to score in the post. I'm sure Matty Knight's still going to score, but it's going to be harder. As you see that little hand around the hip by Sean Redditch, getting pinged with that foul. If you're looking up high, you might have missed it, but he gave him the belt from behind.
I like the energy on defense. We're doing just a little bit smarter. Like again, no back cut, so there's a layup. We've got to do our work early. The posts are getting those catches too deep. We've got to do our work early and push them out. Stop the layups that they're getting. More contested jumpers. The box outs have been great. Offensively, great job pushing, great job getting in the lane. All right, be aware of that penetration now. But if they sink down on that, that might be an outlet pass. And as well as he goes, that postman's going right back guys. So if Wilkinson's here, we're not playing off there. So you've got to play tighter. So contain the penetration now, ready to rotate. Hands on shooters, make it low. Hang on out. Let's go with shallow on and set it. Shallow on and set it. We got it. Keep running away, man.
Sold out Vector Arena game 3, and as Mika Vakona said midweek, to paraphrase him, everyone wants to come to this game to see Tom Abercrombie shooting the ball.
Yeah, he seems to really love this venue. He's been working on the three-point shot, but in this building, especially with his ankle injury, he's really moved to a perimeter scorer, and he's shooting the ball fantastically from deep. Big Alex Pledger. I gave him a compliment on that beard earlier today, and he told me, well, its lifespan is about 3 more hours because it's coming off right after the game finishes.
The Chief makes both. Breakers 5-point lead. 4 minutes 49 left in this first quarter. Kevin Lish has been hounded by Cedric Jackson all series. Inside to Matty Knight. He goes quickly, he's triple teamed. Robbins to shoot it. Robbins, great little jump shot.
Well, they thought he was a weak link with a jumper on that time, sent 3 guys at Matty Knight. But Brad Robbins, if he can effectively hit that jumper, makes it easier for Matt Knight to score in the post.
CJ Bruton with a big bomb. 18-6, the Breakers lead.
Man, those 2 guys have ESP where each other's going to be on the court. Dylan Boucher looked caught in the air, just found his teammate for the deep 3.
Lish, can he answer? Bruton gets the rebound. Look up for the pull-up. Hounded out of it, chased him off that 3-point line. That's better from the Wildcats and just thrown away. There's no ESP in that play between Boucher and Jackson.
Well, they've only been playing together about a year. Dylan Boucher and CJ Bruton have been playing for a lot longer together, but that's the turnovers. That's what both teams have to watch out for, giving the other team easy chances on defense, not working them out as long. The difference in the last 2 games have been the turnovers and the rebounds, and it's going to be the same case tonight.
Corletto and Leon Henry check in for the Breakers. Wagstaff's out there now for the Wildcats. MVP. Lish has it. Step back. Sticks it. Kevin Lish with 2.
And he's looking good early. That's a difficult shot to cover. You got to be so wary of his ability to drive to the hole, draw the foul. But when he hits that mid-range game, he becomes nearly impossible to guard.
Boucher to Henry in the corner. Front rims it. Leon Henry struggling with that corner ball in the postseason. Looking to provide more off the bench with his scoring. Tovey traveled.
They've got to make a decision there. Gave him the first swipe, tried to come back, but you're only allowed the 2 steps here. We see it there, just a little shuffle of the feet. bothered possibly by the length of Leon Henry, who, although he hasn't been shooting the ball great, has been giving them a lot on defense. Pretty unfortunate there to try and catch the ball right before half court. But that's on the passer. Mika Vukona has to wait till he crosses half court to pass it to him, because that pass, to catch it there, you're in the middle of no man's land.
Cam Tovey did a great job of just surprising Leon Henry, forced the turnover. 21 turnovers in game 2 by the Breakers. Matty Knight drives on Pledger strong, and Pledger just basically had to get out of the way there.
And they ran that handoff to perfection. Matty Knight really set a good screen for Lish. When the defense tried to recover, he rolled quickly and was able to shoot over the 7-footer.
Good defense by the Wildcats. It's Vukona to Bruton. Pull up. Oh yes, CJ Bruton. I don't think it's touched iron since probably November.
I don't even think he was trying to make the shot, just trying to get the foul, but he's still able to get it go in the bucket.
He has doubled his scoring average in the postseason from the regular season. He is on fire. He wants another championship real bad. As Bruton and Matty Knight get tied up, exchange pleasantries.
It's all friendly. It's all friendly between those two. They don't have any real hatred. The real hatred's between some other guys.
It's only the first quarter as well.
But you gotta be careful right now. If the Perth Wildcats are really looking to double Matty Knight, so you got to get that shooting lineup out there. You see CJ Bruton just going straight into the post, right on the basketball.
Here's Jackson in. Bruton picks up that personal foul, sags right off Robbins. Waxed up beautifully inside to Robbins. He was so surprised he thought he might throw a fake, because there might be somebody there, and there wasn't.
Well, the Breakers are paying a lot of attention to him defensively because they don't respect his jump shot, but that's what you do, cut to the basket and make easier shots.
Skip pass to Vukona, baseline jumper. That rattles in for Mika Vukona. That isn't a shot you see him shoot a lot of.
Yeah, he saves that one for the Tall Blacks normally, where he averages about 17 a game. Here he's just a defensive hustler, but he's got that in his repertoire.
Really, it's quite amazing. He has that game. You don't see it a whole lot in this Breakers offense, but there are so many other weapons. Robbins misses on the layup, and Mika Vukona, he pushes it over half court and gives it up to Corletto. Minute 15 to go. Jackson drives, steps through, gives it to Vukona, slapped away by Tovey, and it's a foul on Cam Tovey, down low. And they swear the baseline referee said something else.
Well, it's tough to see from different angles. You got different calls, but what fantastic ball movement there. There you see all over the arm. I don't see how they didn't make that call a little bit earlier. They end up going with the second one. I guess I'm not sure exactly what. Nobody thinks it's a foul, but there's two or three to choose from there. But the Breakers really passing the ball around the perimeter, making the Wildcats work.
22-18. A minute 4 to go in the first quarter. Game 3 of the II Net Grand Final Series.
One thing the Breakers don't have on the lineup right now is a lot of offensive rebounding.
Redditch just lost the handle. He did such a good job of confusing everybody. Regained it as he went through a double team, and he is fouled by Bruton with his second.
Well, sometimes necessity is the mother of invention, and here we see Rashad Redditch just losing a bit, tapping to himself. And CJ Bruton goes out with an early second foul here in the first quarter. See if that comes into play later in the game. I don't know, Sean Redditch might be the #1 most hated man in New Zealand right now.
His game-winning block was sensational on CJ Bruton. He had been fairly quiet in the series offensively, but he read the play perfectly. Front wins the second, but Williamson gets the offensive rebound.
Just fell asleep there. Mika Vukona has to be a bit more aggressive on the box out.
Neville over Pledger. Luke Neville, he has such a sweet stroke for a 7-footer.
Man, he is playing fantastically too, especially in the first quarter of this series. He's really had a great effect on the game.
Jackson into the key. Abercrombie challenged, touched. And Cedric Jackson tried to save it, but he stepped out as he got the ball. Wildcats will have it with 24.4 seconds to go.
Yes, Cedric Jackson was a bit unfortunate there. Looked like Mika Vukona was just going to catch it. When he came from out of bounds, he couldn't keep his feet, man, running out of bounds.
True to form, nothing is separating these two teams after almost 10 minutes in game 3. Jackson went to cheat on Robbins. 6 seconds. Neville gives it back to Robbins. 3 seconds. Fletcher hounding him. Will they get a shot off? Williamson does. It almost went in. But good defense by the Breakers to end that quarter. The Perth Wildcats down just 1, and the Breakers lead 22-21. That's the way it is right now. Casey, Perth Wildcats on fire in that quarter.
Yeah, on fire from close to the basket. Can't hit anything from behind the arc. 0 for 3, but 10 for 11 from inside the three-point line. They have to try and punish the Breakers inside if they want to win this game.
Underway in the second. Neville on the small Wilkinson just turns around, shoots it over the top, challenging for the rebounds.
Well, that's a bit of a heat check for the 7-footer from 17. When you're shooting the fadeaway over the shoulder, that's a tough one for the big fella.
Wilkinson faces up, gives it to Corletto, decides to dribble it out. 7 to shoot. Jackson turns the corner as Neville just stuck out one of those big legs of lamb. He's got attached to his torso, clobbered him.
I'll tell you what, it's difficult for the guards to stay in front of Cedric Jackson on the perimeter, but asking Luke Neville to step out and show on the on-ball screen, you're really asking a lot of him. And that time, Cedric Jackson put his head down, attacked, and drew the foul.
You just can't coach size. He's a legitimate 7-footer. Jackson, double clutch layup, no good. Up ahead to Williamson. In transition, Williamson goes hard on Thomas Abercrombie. Jackson pulls down a rebound. And there's a foul called. And I think that may be on Damian Martin. No, it's on Luke Neville. It's quite hard to get those two confused.
Yeah, that's a big foul on Luke Neville, because that's his number 3 for him. As you see Cedric Jackson come in, get the grab, and Luke Neville just a little bit too much body. Unfortunately for Luke Neville, that's the right call, just in the wrong place and a little hustle. But that could really affect him, because he's having an excellent game up to this point.
These two teams were top 1 or 2 in offensive and defensive categories, and if they weren't, they were top 4 in the league. And the Breakers are a decent rebounding team, a great rebounding team in this league. Perth Wildcats just smashed them on the glass. It's Wilkinson just belligerently puts a shot up on that double team.
He just refused to accept that double team, didn't he?
He certainly did. It's still 22-21. Breakers, 25 rebounds to Perth's 39 in game 2, but they get another offensive rebound on that possession. And inside to Wagstaff, taking his time. Double team, gets it back. Matty Knight. Matty Knight. Crucial jump shot to give the Perth Wildcats the lead.
Just filling it up. From deep now, out behind 15. There we see the fouls, especially Luke Neville in a bit of foul trouble. But the Breakers giving up a second chance opportunities right now. They have to do a better job of finding their mid player and boxing out, keeping the Perth Wildcats from getting those second chances, because they are keeping them at a relatively low percentage when they're shooting. But if they don't grab the rebound, it's all for naught.
So the Breakers have Jackson, Boucher, Corletto, Abercrombie, and Wilkinson. For the Wildcats, it's Matty Knight, Martin, Wagstaff, Tovey, and Lish's Dylan Boucher. Can't get it, but then steals the ball, and Wilkinson has it, goes straight into, I think that's Cam Tovey.
Oh, look at the aggressiveness.
Yes.
Man, body's on the line. Cameron Tovey just going for the loose ball. Get off the train tracks, though, because Gary Wilkinson is coming through, blasted through his chin. And he hits it. You see the displeasure on his face, but just when you're moving like that, that's going to be a foul. Good recognition by Gary Wilkinson just to go grab the ball and go straight up with it, pretty much through Cam Tovey's chin.
Wilkinson will be at the line. 28 points in game 2.
And a lot of those points early in the game. Didn't get as much going offensively late, but man, he was a force to be reckoned with for 3 quarters. And then it seemed like the Perth Wildcats figured him out, or possibly the Breakers got a little bit fatigued down the stretch.
Wilkinson makes both, and the Breakers had the lead back, 24-23, 7:40 gone. Matty Knight faces up over the top of Gary Wilkinson, and Matty Knight has hit 2 straight buckets for Perth.
And man, if he's going to hit that little step back 17-footer, he's going to be impossible for the Breakers to guard, because he can go to either shoulder as well with the jump hook.
Matty Knight is sensational, 8 points, 4 of 4. Jackson wanted contact on that call. Belcher has it. Abercrombie just goes up over the top. A little short, but Wilkinson gets another offensive rebound for the Breakers.
Well, there you really see where Thomas Abercrombie, his ankle affects him. Normally, that's a big slam dunk. Jackson's 3. Rims in and out, and Lish has it. Martin on the drive. Puts up the floater. Running off that leg, he can barely hobble down the court, was able to hit the runner off it. That's just a gritty show of toughness.
Nice move by Jackson there as Corletto puts the ball on the floor, puts up the floater off the glass. Wilkinson's tied up with Martin, and we'll have a jump ball.
And both these teams are just showing such a thirst and a hunger for the basketball on the offensive glass. That time, Gary Wilkinson was the only breaker that needed to be boxed out, and they still couldn't do it. He just imposed his will on the opposition, and a lot of the same things are happening on the other side. Neither team is to be denied right now on the offensive glass.
Perth have a 3-point lead, 27-24, 6:37 to go in this first half.
Little niggle and wiggles. CJ Bruton saying, hey, you can't grab my jersey. Working the refs. Ever working the refs.
Almost missed the start of the possession, and then has a 3. Shoots an air ball. A little strong on that corner ball, and Damian Martin has it.
Little subterfuge, just sneaking into the corner.
The sneaky veteran. He's 6-0 in grand finals deciding games. CJ Bruton.
Well, when Matty Knight is going down to the post, they're really being aggressive with that double team. They're deciding to leave one of the shooters outside by himself. And because of the way Perth shot the basketball in these first 2 games, they're going to force the Wildcats to beat him from the perimeter. They're going to try to keep Matty Knight from doing it, but right now it's not doing the great job because he does have 8 points.
Rather, CJ Bruton is 6-0 in sudden death matches to decide a series as we have a timeout. Angela Manis is talking it over with his team.
The offense is dried up and the ball's sticking a lot. Okay, so right now, like trans on the fly, you like get that thing on, they're switching those cutters, have a look at the trans post, hard out of the corner. Penetration's fine. On that penetration, again, that next guy, the post stepping in is sometimes open as well, okay? Now on walk-ups or jump situation, get some secondary, get some ball movement, all right, here, on, screen, come out, and then, you know, Dan's curling on 90, CJ curling on Knight's side, attacking the elbow over the top, that's good action for us. If not, pull out, throw it in, hard cuts, they're not coming on the double now, only after a couple, the guard leaves Cedric. All right, that's the one who left the last time, okay? Here we go, let's go, fellas, keep playing, keep being aggressive, 1, 2, 3, stay positive.
Dan Carter and the Honor Carter enjoying the proceedings here, courtside. Jerome Kino sitting beside him as well. Prime seats. Why not? You won a Rugby World Cup. Maybe a little bit of their success last year, the end of October, rub off on the Breakers tonight.
Maybe the other way around. Maybe the Breakers' success last year rubbed off on the All Blacks.
Oh, touche, Casey Frank. Lish steps through. Beautiful layout by Kevin Lish. And Kevin Lish is having a heck of a first half at the moment.
He's got his eye in, he is focused. He's not settling for the jump shot. He is going straight to the basket when the opportunity's there.
Up to Vicona. Ball reversed to Wilkinson, gets Knight in the air, resets. Nails another 3-pointer. Gary Wilkinson is 2 or 3 from deep and has 10 points in this half.
That's a difficult shot. Half a step back after the step through. Looked like his foot isn't on line, but they gave him 3.
Perth still with that 2-point lead, tied up by Wilkinson as Matty Knight. He doesn't agree with the call.
Yeah, from this angle, it looked like he got a lot of basketball. But Matty Knight, with his aggressive right now, is forcing the officiating crew to make a call. Going straight at the defense, taking it straight to Gary Wilkinson that time. He's not settling for what the defense is giving him. Here we say, take a second look at it. Look at the physical battle. They're just going at each other. Gary Wilkinson, looks like a lot of basketball from there. But it's always the same old story holds true. If it looks like a foul, it's going to end up being a foul.
Matty Knight himself having a great first half, 9 points. Make it 10. Sean Redditch will check into the game for him.
What are you taking that guy out for? He's on fire. The Breakers can't guard him right now. They're sending him back to the bench with 5 minutes to go in the quarter.
Perth with a 4-point lead. Second quarter. Game 3, the defending champs. In an arm wrestle at the moment with the Perth Wildcats. The champs from 2 years ago. Boucher into the key. Right now the Perth Wildcats are in the box seat, 14 of 21. They're shooting as Martin just goes over the body of Dylan Boucher, and Gary Wilkinson stepped out trying to grab that rebound. It's another turnover for the Breakers. It's getting a little bit ragged for them at the moment.
And with the Wildcats shooting 64% from the field, that we see trying to get the foul there. Dylan Boucher trying to get all the contact, the ref not buying it. And you see Gary Wilkinson's foot just slip out of bounds as he's trying to gain possession, but they cannot afford to give him extra opportunities because the Wildcats are shooting fantastically at 64%.
Higher in the game for the Wildcats, and it's Abercrombie on him. Redditch has position, tipped by Bruton, stolen now. Lish sprinting back. Trailer is Abercrombie. Into the key, step around, lays it up. Oh, the length and athleticism of Tom Abercrombie.
That athleticism about a half degree down from what it's normally at, but it was just enough to go around the defense instead of over. Finishes with a nice little scoop shot.
29-31. Breakers down 2. Redditch bumped by Mikavakona. And Mikavakona will pick up his first personal foul, which is a pretty good effort considering it's halfway through that second quarter.
Yeah, that's got to be a season-long record for him as Gary Wilkinson gets sent to the bench, but Mikavakona just caught a little bit out of position. And the Breakers played excellent defense out there for 17 seconds, only 7 left on the shot clock. You don't want to get the foul at that point. You want to try and play a little more solid, make him hit a difficult jumper.
Brad Robbins checks in for the Wildcats as well as Wagstaff. Lost the handle. Puts up a little hook shot. Tipped out, gets it back. Kevin Lish is all alone on the three-point line, but Mikavakona just rips it away by sheer force of the man.
That was lucky for the Breakers because Kevin Lish had 2 open looks, but Jesse Wagstaff didn't see him either time.
And there you go. It's like Rob Beveridge decided it wasn't a good idea to take Matty Knight out. He checks back in for Wagstaff, and just a miscommunication there from Pledger and Cedric Jackson. Wagstaff will take a seat. 0 points for him tonight.
Cedric Jackson seemed to think Alex Pledger was an 8-footer that time, not a 7-footer. Threw it just a wee bit high.
Perth still up 2. Robbins going to work, gets his offensive rebound. Pledger has it, and he fouls Alex Pledger nice and hard.
And Brad Robbins, a little bit of frustration in that foul there. Tried to draw the foul a couple times on CJ Bruton. Went up with the first one. A lot of contact on that one. Not as much on the second. Alex Pledger just wraps it up, surrounded by Wildcats. Brad Robbins had a bit of a poke at it, then fixed his headband afterwards. Not too much anger in it, but just a little bit.
The on-ball defense of Brad Robbins is really something to behold. He is annoying. It's like that fly in summer. Puts it up for Pledger. Bazinga! The long pass to the big man.
Next level. Tosses it up there as Mikavakona gets the foul coming back, quieting the crowd that just exploded off the fantastic look. The Breakers running that pick and roll to absolute perfection there. It's a little bit easier to do when you got the 7-foot athlete running at the rim, but Cedric Jackson put that ball in a fantastic spot. Saw the big fella up there, up and over the defense. Wildcats could do nothing but look at it. We get the great angle from behind the basket.
What a pass as well. Pinpoint for the 7-footer, as you said. The sledgehammer was dropped. It's Robbins. Gives it to Redditch. Pass tip. Tovey has it. Kicks it out. Lish from Sky City. No good front of the rim. A little deep for Kevin Lish on that one.
Well, why not? He has been hitting everything else. You might as well take a look at that one with the shot clock running down.
31-31, 3:13 to go in the half. Jackson Another pass. Man, the adrenaline must be coursing through his body at the moment. He has thrown some hard passes when he's not connecting. 2 to shoot. Jackson. Everyone thought there might have been a violation, but Boucher didn't. Puts it up for Pledger, and Matty Knight gets him. Momentum has shifted back to the Breakers.
And you can hear it because the crowd's back into the game. That dunk is something that the Wildcats didn't want. That really got the crowd, who had been a little bit tense up to that point, back off their feet. Dylan Boucher looked to see a little bit of a mismatch there. Matty Knight tried to get a ball hand, just threw his body into Alex Pledger, sending him to the free throw line, where he has really been fantastic in the final series.
Alex Pledger, 3 of 3 from the line. He's got 5 points, 2 rebounds. I know we've talked about it all season, but if you're new to the Breakers in the postseason, Alex Pledger has just stepped up his production, and just a little bit of extra time offered up in this hard to bust out of a rotation that the Breakers have. They have so much talent. Alex Pledger just produces in every play somehow.
It's a problem that both teams have. They're both extremely deep, and that's one of the things that's made this such a great series.
Redditch with the jab step and gives it to Lish. Splits the double team, finds Knight. Matty Knight, that will count, and Matty Knight will go to the line to shoot free throws. He is having a heck of a first half.
Kevin Lish created that play. Look at the crossover going around the defense. Gets Pledger in the air, drops it off for his teammate. And Alex Pledger, if you're gonna foul him, you gotta make it earn it. Just a touch foul. You can't have that. Matty Knight right now cannot miss. 5 for 5 from the field, 12 points.
And finals MVP-like performance from Matty Knight. He has been a toilless worker. So hard, grafting underneath, doing all the dirty work, but also contributing when the box score with his points. It's 17 in game 1 and 13 in game 2. Boucher picks up the ball after it's poked away. 7 to shoot. Gives it up to Pledger. With that drop, not getting the roll at the moment. Perth still have a 1-point lead. Closing in on 2 minutes to go in the first half. Breakers get it back.
And Sean Redditch tried to do the early post there, really tried to start bodying up Alex Pledger. But because he tried to do it so far away from the basket, a little miscommunication between him and his teammate there. Thought he was going to pass it at the rim. Instead, he was at the free throw line. Ends up being a turnover.
Mental lapses like this just can't be tolerated in a game 3 situation. Jackson, bounce pass to Boucher, gets Redditch in the air. Contact initiated. The refs won't have it as Robbins and Boucher are tied up. And he jumped straight up in the air as the call from the ref.
Pretty good call there. Great pass by Cedric Jackson. He did jump in the air. Boucher tried to create the contact, but the ref had the call right because Dylan Boucher leaned in, and Brad Robbins just throwing those bows around like Meta World Peace on the court.
Look out, James Harden. We have a timeout. The Breakers need to talk about it. Down 1 in their own gym against the Perth Wildcats. Absolutely desperate for another title to add to the 5 they've already got. The Breakers, they want to go back-to-back in front of their home crowd.
So on the fly, trans or secondary, on walk-ups, go with thumbs. But what I want to do is bring Chief into it here, work, and Bouch, he just comes short. All right, so yeah, Chief, you're coming this way, you're coming opposite side, and said, you just have a look as you come off, just come back, have a look at Boucher right here, short, and then Chief, you're hard on the rim. All right? Yeah, all right, so that's on thumbs now. So you got, here said you can turn, or you can reject it and go Bouch here. He's got Chief hard on the rim. Yeah, stay in the corner. Out all the hard plays. We get stops, keep running. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Keep attacking Chief's side.
The Breakers do have to look for some kind of counter to the way the Wildcats are guarding that on ball. You hear a call to that thumbs action, that's their on ball. And right now, the Wildcats are throwing that double team and really taking the Breakers out of their groove offensively, forcing them to do something else, and they're not able to attack it quite they want, so they're gonna have to go with a quick pass down to that short baseline and try and find it, attack it from another angle.
Robbins at the line. Hearing it from Victor. Perth Wildcats shooting 5 of 6 from the line.
It's the little things. It's the little victories on the free throw line that get you closer to a championship.
Rims out and Pledger, hounded. Boucher gives it up to Abercrombie. Williamson picks him up. Pledger travelled. The big man left alone out high and turns the ball over.
Yeah, his teammates left him on an island there. Everybody decided to go back door, but you can't leave the big 7-footer out bouncing the basketball around by the three-point line.
After shooting 1 and 18 in game 2, the Perth Wildcats 0 of 5, but at the moment they're 15 of 22 inside the arc. That's where they are at the moment. Back out to Redditch, puts the ball on the floor. Inside to Matty Knight with great position. Matty Knight, what a half. He is just absolutely killing the breakers down low.
And they are working each other. Alex Pledger putting everything on the line, forced him out almost to the three-point line last time, having a little conversation about it. And that's a tough shot, but so's that one. Alex Pledger finally getting a little get back on the nice little reverse.
Little bit of chat between Matty Knight and Alex Pledger.
I think it went something along the lines of, how the heck did you hit that shot over me? Must have been a bit of luck.
37-35. Minute 4 left in this first half, Casey. Under a minute now. Perth in control, 37. 2:35 on ball screen. Lish decides to drive it, step back. Will he stick it? You bet he does, Kevin Lish. What a jumper.
Got away with a Jordan-esque push-off with his right arm there, throwing Bill Boucher to the ground, creating the space to open it up.
Oh my goodness, Cedric Jackson with the whirling dervish move in the lane and gets 2 to drop.
Well, he has been shooting 33% from the three-point line. That's what he's great at, shooting over 60% when he's inside the arc in the series.
1 of 5, and that is his first bucket for the game. As Williamson gets the push off himself.
And Andre Lamanis over here saying he was stepped on the baseline or on the sideline before he went with the dribble. But it doesn't matter because he got the shooter's touch roll.
Jackson has that ball on a string at the moment. It's 7 on the shot clock. 5 on the game clock. Goes into the lane, over Redditch. That drops Cedric Jackson with a highlight play to end the second half. And he'll take a seat in front of the corporates. And he has had a difficult first half, but he has finished strong as Cedric Jackson. The Breakers are down 2 in their home gym. Perth lead 41-39.
Well.
And what a game we have, 41-39. And we are underway, quarter number 3. The Wildcats getting it done in the first half. And Kevin Lish kicks it to Redditch. Break a ball on the baseline.
Luke Neville right off the bat, recklessly going after the basketball, even though he's got those three fouls. Not going to slow down his attempts on the offensive glass.
If you're a Breakers fan, you need Neville to stay out there because Matty Knight is currently on the bench. And he is dead set killing them.
That is an excellent point, Moles.
Jackson running the offense. Steps into the lane, gives it to Vicona, who goes up on the reverse. That drops.
Cedric Jackson, just when he penetrates at will, when he wants to get to the rim, it is impossible to keep him there, and finds his teammate.
Just the position the Wildcats are getting as they come down. I mean, Sean Redditch just strolled in there. We get a late pass to Wilkinson, who leaked down, and that can't drop.
Oh, just not quite enough to get it over the rim. Good look by Cedric Jackson, couldn't finish, but you're absolutely right. The offensive position for the Wildcats just right down to the glass. That time, Mika Vicona fights around it, and that's what the Breakers need more of. They need to fight. They need the Wildcats to work harder for that position.
Well, points in the paint for the Wildcats, 24. Is Corletto. Can that drop?
This hustling defense of the Wildcats The Breakers don't punish it by hitting three-point shots. They're going to keep in it.
Makona, no-look pass to Gary Wilkinson. It drops. And Gary Wilkinson will go to the line.
And Makona, he decided where he was passing that one about half court. Still got the defense to react to the no-look. And that gets the crowd up and excited. But there you see it. Kevin Lish a little bit out of control. Makona in the right place at the right time. That's where he saw Gary Wilkinson. Gave it to him at the right moment. Takes the slap on the face to go to the three-point, to the free throw line to earn a three-point play the old-fashioned way.
Converts that three-point play. 13 points for Gary Wilkinson now. 5 of 5 from the free throw line. Breakers perfect, 9 of 9. Just Alex Pledger, the only other breaker who's gone to the free throw line as Lish has it on the wing and Jackson on him. Redditch sets the pick, swaps it over. Jackson hounding Lish. Makona now hounding Redditch. The Breakers' two best defenders. Makona got him.
Just don't want to foul him there. That's a 24-footer with 1 second on the shot clock. After great defense for the entire possession, just puts his hand in the wrong place at the wrong time. And that's not anger over the call, that's anger at himself. He knows he let him off the hook and sends it to the free throw line for 3 attempts. It's great, get back in the lead.
Great ultra slow motion picks there on our fancy pants camera. It costs a lot of money for me not to call it fancy pants, I know.
Is that the official, it's the official fancy pants line?
No, I don't believe it is. It's Redditch. Unsuccessful on that one. 2 of 4 from the line. Wildcats lead now, 45-44. Crowd more than ever is needed for the Breakers. This is why they have home court advantage. This is why they went to overtime in the regular season. The Wildcats floor. To have this opportunity as Makona gives it up to Jackson, who gives it to Wilkinson, who blows the layup.
Just got to finish that one yourself, Cedric Jackson. Just do it a little bit too much. Just take the layup when you have it.
Neville, ball on the floor. Wilkinson pulls it down. Jackson over half court. Tovey got him, trailing the play. Cam Tovey stopped the fast break just by tripping Cedric Jackson.
Didn't actually mean to. I think Cedric Jackson tried to create a bit of the contact there. Just pulled the referee into that call. He saw Cameron Tovey there, slowed up, got it. But the Breakers can find some success in the transition basketball right now. Not as much to the half court, but if they can keep pushing the pressure, it's going to affect the Wildcats down the stretch.
Jackson for 3, front rim. Matty Knight with the rebound. Cedric Jackson, that shot hasn't been dropping for a while now.
He just really is letting the defense off a hook. When he drives, he can get to the basket at will.
Jackson, 0-4 from deep. Mika pulls down a board. Wilkinson has it. Abercrombie sizes up Martin, gives it to Coletto.
Cedric Jackson with a mismatch on Knight.
6 on the shot clock. Tovey on him. Spins, gives it to Wilkinson. Blows another layup.
Just barely blocked there by Matty Knight, I think, but Gary Wilkinson having trouble with the layups in the third quarter.
Good defense at the other end. Overhead to Wilkinson, who's streaking on the fast break. Hammered by Tovey. He'll just sit down, catch his breath, and he'll hear it. Does Cam Tovey from the crowd.
That's a playoff foul right there. No layups on this fast break. You are not getting everybody excited. Great deflection there. Makona sees his teammate, tosses it up there. Confidence in me, even though he's missed the 3 layups in this half. And Cam Tovey not going to let Wilkinson finish that one, no matter what. Brings the hammer down on the right arm. Bevo not happy about the way that the Wildcats are playing transition defense at the moment.
If you can't get it done, you're out. I'll do it. If that's not on, we're going through the 5. You look at it, you do not force it. You do not force it. Kick it on. Now, if Kev is out here, they are ready early. Slip it. They kick it on and slip it. So right now, the lack of discipline turning us.
summed up perfectly in the last few days by a quote, "It's Bevo's way or the highway." And Sean Redditch is testament to that. He came here as a Wildcat, and they shaped him from an offensive-minded player to playing both ends.
I'm pretty sure he's still an offensive-minded player. I don't know if that's changed too much, but he does put the effort in defensively. Well, he does put the effort in defensively, but he is still definitely a shot-first thinker.
Well, I guess the block at the end of game 2, Sean Redditch will count that as some defense.
That is some defense. That is timely defense. But right there, Beveridge saying it, put it on the line. If you cannot get it done, come to the bench and sit with me, because somebody else will get it done.
Wilkinson 1 of 2, and he'll get it back. As Abercrombie contested it with Knight, and it's tied 45-45. Jackson doing all sorts of things in the key, and another player steps out. This time, it is Gary Wilkinson on the side.
Yeah, the guys really just don't have the court awareness that they need to have. Both teams right now struggling, just not in the right spot, and those are the turnovers that got to kill you. You got the extra possession. You have a chance to put a nail in there, just really hammer back on the Wildcats, and instead you just give it right back to them.
Bruton in the game for the Breakers. It's Martin, Hire, Redditch, Lish, and Knight out there for the Wildcats. Perth winding down the clock. Patience, 6 to shoot. Redditch goes up, contested by Vakona. Tipped by Vakona, and Jackson has it. Perth hustling back in that transition D. Jackson backing down. Wilkinson, feet set. It's good. Gary Wilkinson bangs down another.
Well, the dude can't make a layup, but he has no problems from behind the arc. Just shooting the heck out of the ball from outside there.
3 of 4 tonight from deep. 17 points for Gary Wilkinson. Redditch on the little pass from Damian Martin up high. Nice little connection there as the Breakers struggle to keep up.
Well, Damian Martin keeps his head as Mika Vakona tries to draw the charge. Can't do it, but he finds his teammate, Sean Redditch, for the layup.
Kevin Lish called for the foul as Jackson backed him down, and Rob Beveridge doesn't quite like that.
Well, Cedric Jackson looking to take a little bit more on his shoulders right now, saying you can't guard me in that post. It's the second possession in a row. He's trying to create something going. As we see Gary Wilkinson over the outstretched hand to Grant Hire. Not enough defense. He loves the 3-ball right now.
On the floor for the Breakers, it's Bruce and Jackson. Abercrombie, Boucher who has it, but Matty Knight gets it. Wilkinson completes that 5 out there as Jesse Wagstaff's in the game for Perth. Down just that single point, 48-47.
Both teams really turning it over in the third quarter, 6 apiece.
Lish step back. Wagstaff gets the board. Greg High thought about it and gives it back to Jesse. Jesse in that mop affair, backing down Abercrombie. Higher, all alone. That rips. Greg High for 3, and he had a week to think about it.
Well, does his contract say he only plays in the third quarter? Because that is when he comes with his game. 8 points in the third quarter of game 2, and a big 3 right there.
12 points in game 2. 4 rebounds as well as C.J. Bruton from the car park.
Kevin Lish just falls asleep a little bit. Didn't think he was shooting, but when you're guarding C.J. Bruton, you got to know he's always thinking about shooting.
51-50. Higher going to work on Bruton. Boucher pulls down that rebound. The veteran stepping up in the third for the Breakers. Jackson crossover, bumped by Lish on the floor, and it's Breakers ball on the side.
And that's what the Breakers want to see more of from Cedric Jackson, especially in transition when the defense hasn't set underneath the basket. There you see the trophy. That's what they're putting it all the line for. The sweat, the hustle. As we see C.J. Bruton. You're not going to guard me? Okay, I'll hit this.
Leon Henry in the game as Abercrombie and Wilkinson sit down. Pledger is checked in as Luke Neville is in with his 3 fouls, and Matty Knight will take a breather.
Cedric Jackson struggling a little bit scoring the basketball, but finding his teammates. 7 assists on the day.
Misses 2 free throws, Cedric Jackson.
Free throws starting to become a bit of a story. Breakers not shooting quite as well as the Wildcats.
Wagstaff loses it. Jackson got a hand in the cookie jar. Bounce pass to Henry. Great hustle by Kevin Lish.
all over him. Tough passing angle by Cedric Jackson there. Leon Henry just couldn't outrun Kevin Lish, who on these fast breaks, man, he looks so quick in the open court.
Robbins is in the game for Perth.
Zone defense, really, the Breakers have had a bit of trouble with it.
Dylan Boucher just tossed Jesse Wagstaff aside and pulled down that rebound, and the Breakers will have it back.
CJ Bruton trying to come out with a zone buster.
Jackson puts it up for Pledger. Goes up strong. Alex Pledger has 10.
He's really improved at catching and gathering before he finishes. He took his time there, knew he was the biggest guy on the court, right around him, and was able to finish it with ease.
Neville lost the handle. Bruton, skip pass. Jackson tiptoeing on the baseline, gets it away just before he stepped out of bounds, and he'll go around Neville. Goes around Wagstaff, who bumps him. No contact called.
Yeah, you can see the refs are going to let him settle it on the court. You cannot go for the flop right now.
Cedric Jackson just worked that out. He was like, all right, is this the way it's going to go?
He created that contact. Wagstaff was there pretty solid. Maybe in the regular season you get that call, but not in game 3, not in the decider, with everything on the table up for grabs.
Jackson storing that away for the fourth quarter. Both teams, you expect the referees to maybe loosen up a little bit and let the players decide the game. Perth down 3. Lish for 3 with the shot clock winding down. Tipped, and Boucher has another rebound. Jackson streaking ahead. Action in the lane. Can't get it to drop. He's fouled. He'll go to the line. Kevin Lish will pick up the personal.
And man, that guy is on ice skates out there. He can change direction so quickly. It was lining up like it was going to be a charge, and if that was a normal crossover, it might have been a charge. But Cedric Jackson just able to change direction on a dime, gets by him. Kevin Lish has no option but to reach out his hand. He does bother the shot, so he's not able to finish the layup, but they're sending Cedric Jackson back to the free throw line where he struggled last time. 0 for 2 from the free throw line in his last attempts.
Kevin Lish has his 3rd personal foul. He'll join Cam Tovey, who's got 4 for the Perth Wildcats. And Neville, of course, with those 3 still. Kona has 3 for the Breakers. Jackson at the line.
Cedric Jackson just can't find the range right now. He's got nothing to do but give a little smile to himself.
Makes one. Breakers lead is 4, 54-50. Still so close. Barely nothing is separating these teams at the moment. It has been one heck of a grand final series. Lish. Sean Reddish just hammered Cedric Jackson and picks up the offensive foul.
Well, that's an easy call there. Cedric Jackson was going away. Sean Reddish set that screen with his arms. And you see, just and if you're not setting it solidly, you can't reach out the shoulder and the hip. That time, Cedric Jackson uses his quickness to advantage on the defensive end as well.
And he gets in the key. Great hands from Brad Robbins to strip it. And Dylan Boucher picks up the foul as he tried to hack it away.
And Cedric Jackson just being aggressive right now. He's trying to put everything on his shoulders, going straight to the hole. But the quick hands, Matty Knight smacking that down. And Andre Lamanis is going to let it take it off Cedric Jackson's shoulders for a little bit. A couple of subs come in. Thomas Abercrombie and Daryl Corletto back on the court. So those point guard duties and those defensive duties change hands.
We haven't seen a lot of Damian Martin in this 3rd quarter. So far out there, it's Williamson, Robbins, and Lish. And CJ Bruton was just fighting through that screen, and he'll pick up a foul.
That's his 3rd on the night. And he's let him know about those dirty screens. I've been through a few of those Sean Reddish screens, and they're not always the cleanest.
Is it like walking through daisies?
Well, I'd say that to his face, but not quite that easy.
Reddish drives. Fouled as well.
I've barely had any fouls for about 25 minutes there. Now just turned into a foul fest. Both teams sticking their hands in there, being a little bit too aggressive.
that'll be Dylan Boucher's third foul. The hack.
When it starts to get a little bit problematic, you see 3 players for the Breakers sitting there on 3 fouls. Gary Wilkinson on 2. Sean Renage quiets the crowd with a free throw. Better offensive performance as he hits his 11th point for the night. A little token pressure from the Wildcats trying to speed the Breakers up.
54-52. Breakers still with this lead in the third quarter. Perth slowly clawing it back though. Boucher and Bruton. Abercrombie wide open. Puts the ball on the floor. Rises and fires and it drops. Tom Abercrombie. An important 2 points for him. A quiet 10 so far.
The quiet 10 hasn't had a lot of time, but you see him, he's hobbled out there running around. Not the same explosiveness, but that jumper is still pretty.
Robbins inside tonight. Spins on Boucher. Good defense by Dylan Boucher as Redditch is down. Gets back up and Bruton has the ball.
Well, if you want to slow Matty Knight down in the post, that's the guy you do it with. As Brad Robbins throws a ball to Dylan Boucher.
Brad Robbins just smashed Dylan Boucher to the floor, and the referee saw it and swallowed his whistle.
And now Sean Redditch.
And Sean Redditch bumping chests.
What a joke. trying to bait the ref into a foul there. Just play basketball, guys. Here you see, that's dirty. You see the shoulder, you see the elbow going in. Obvious, just trying to go through him. The refs have to see that. I'm all for letting him decide on the court, but that's a cheap shot. But his teammates don't think so. But you know, at the same token, they're doing everything they can to get back in this game, to get this victory, because it means that much to both teams.
Under a minute to go, and Robbins had it tipped away. Redditch, little jump hook. Little floater in the lane from Sean Redditch. Closes it up to 2. We expected nothing less from these two teams. 56-54. It's been physical. It's been hard. Both teams gone on many runs as it's tipped away by the Wildcats. An opportunity to tie with 30 seconds to go. Williamson, no good. Jackson has it. Holds it up. Calms it down.
Tell him to shoot only 1 shot. That's the 5th turnover Jackson has in the game. To go along with those 8 assists, he has to take better care of the basketball in the 4th quarter.
Shot clock is 3 seconds less than the game clock. 6 to shoot. Upstairs to Abercrombie. Perfect pass.
The misdirection gets it done. Tommy Abercrombie, just enough athleticism to finish that one for his 12th point.
The hang time from Tom Abercrombie seals a spectacular play in a tight third quarter. 58-54, the Breakers lead, heading into the final. A season that started in early October has come down to this. Two teams who just flat out hate each other are going to sort it out on the court. There's Jackson into the lane. Pledger cleans it up. Goes down, gets back up. Breakers lead by 6.
Cedric Jackson punishing the defense when he gets into the hole. Finding his teammates at the same time.
Williamson curls. Tipped away by Cedric Jackson. Into the lane. Hammered. It won't drop. And he'll go to the line to shoot 2.
And Cedric Jackson starts with the first penetration, drops it off to Pledger for 2 points, and comes down and just picks the pocket, says, give me that bucket. You're not going to make that pass with me on the court. Turns on the Jets, comes down, sees that Tommy Abercrombie's a little hobble behind him, so he does it himself and goes to the free throw line for another attempt. And he can't believe he missed the layup. Dylan Boucher, the words of encouragement.
Boucher gets the rebound. Behind the back to Pledger. Blocked by Lish. And that will
And now the Breakers are starting to get fired up. The little mental mistakes, the missed free throw box outs, you cannot have that. Dylan Boucher with a huge rebound, and look at the clever pass by Jackson. Oh, Alex Pledger just too big for Kevin Lish. And look at Cedric Jackson, giving a little bit of Superman action there. Gonna take off the jersey.
This is tense. A 7-point lead for the Breakers. Pretty much, it's the biggest lead they've had of the game. Is the biggest lead they've had of the game. And even Pledger is feeling it at the line at the moment. It's all on the line for that. The Breakers currently have it. They're about 9 minutes and 26 seconds away from sorting out if they still get to keep it for another off-season and regular season. Pledger gives the Breakers an 8-point lead, 62-54. Damian Martin is out there for Perth. Lish with his 4 fouls is out there. Tovey inside to Matty Knight. Tovey shoots. Jesse Wagstaff can't get it to drop, but crashing the board is, well, it's Matty Knight. Who else would it be?
Look at the triple team. He was held off the board in the third quarter. Couldn't get it going, but back to action there with the clever tip.
Missed shot, Matty Knight pulls down the rebound. Well, in 88 grand final games in the NBL, just 13 times as a side come from behind at third quarter time to win it. So it's in the Breakers' favours at the moment as it's out there on the floor, scrambling for it. And at the moment, it's Jackson and Knight, but it could be any one of these two teams.
Do you think the referees left their whistles at the score bench during the third quarter at the intermission break there? Because they are going at it. There are some bodies being thrown at each other and no whistles blown. And these two teams are going to have to decide it on the floor with their physical play. As we see it, look at that, just right through on the arm, an obvious foul. Another foul there. Here we go, two guys banging into each other. Looks like a scrum. Man, these two teams, neither one wants to be denied.
That's definitely a ruck, and he's off his feet. Jesse Wagstaff to Lish. Lish, the left-hander, drops a big bomb. Kevin Lish, MVP, you better believe it.
And silences the crowd, gets the Wildcats back into it, shooting only 16% from 3 coming into the game. But that was a big one to get him off the schneid.
62-59. 8-point lead cut to 3. Vacona faces up. Baseline. 5 on the shot clock. Wilkinson has it tipped. Lish smashed himself against a teammate. Perth still have it.
Just too many passes there. The Breakers being too clever for themselves. Somebody has to take a shot with this clock running down.
A little confusion there between Vacona and Wilkinson, but they sort themselves out. Martin. Wagstaff has Jackson. Mismatch. Coletto comes to help. Matty Knight. It'll probably drop. Oh my goodness, it didn't. Wide open, Matty Knight. Just a little bit too far out for his range, and Damian Martin picks up a foul, and that will be just his first for the Perth Wildcats.
He hasn't spent as much time as he normally does on the court, or otherwise that would definitely not be his first foul. But Matty Knight, that jumper just maybe slightly outside of his range. He probably wants to take another foot inside, and that more often than not will hit the bottom of the net. But the Breakers being very aggressive with their defense, not going to be, looks like they're not going to be allowing themselves to get beat inside. They're going to force the Wildcats to do it from the perimeter.
Breakers still getting beaten on the boards, 27-23. Bruton loses the handle. Another turnover.
CJ Bruton trying to milk that foul. Not going to happen in the fourth quarter right now.
Tovey wide open. Bangs down a big 3. Cam Tovey ties it up at 62.
Angela Manis has seen enough, straight to the timeout. Cam Tovey had done absolutely nothing up to this point. Those are his first 3 points of the game, but what a 3 points, what a time to step up and hit the big bucket to tie the game with 7 minutes left.
Well, Lish and Robbins are in foul trouble with 4. Redditch and Neville with 3. And right now, Angela Manis has 7 minutes and 9 seconds left in the season.
Understand where all the shooters are. With regards to 3-point line, well, all serious. All right, keep going with that. Offensively, on the fly and trans, and we need a little bit of ball movement now. All right, the ball's sticking a lot. Okay, so get that thing on. Whack, get a good cutter here. Rich has got 4 fouls, so if they switch that, have a look at trans post and have a look at going in there and going at him. Okay, on trans post. Okay, otherwise on walk-up situations, like go with some shakes and some shakes punch. Let everybody get into position first and then go ahead and be aggressive. Again, yeah, when you set that screen, make sure you're hard on the rim and that other postman.
Well, some fans have made the trip over for the Perth Wildcats. Now they in store for a big night in Auckland.
They'd like to see that. Kevin Lish from deep, not to be outdone. Cameron Toby finds his way from deep as well. The Wildcats now have 3 for 11 from the three-point line, a little bit better than last week.
1 of 18, worst shooting performance by a team in the finals. Back underway. Just a little bit ragged around the edges at the moment for the Breakers as Toby jumps out on Abercrombie. 7 on the shot clock. Wilkinson backing down Wagstaff. Step back. Oh, Gary Wilkinson that rolls in for 19.
How tough is that? Takes a dribble in, takes the fadeaway out to 14 feet, and that is impossible to guard for Jesse Wagstaff. Nothing he can do as Vic Vacona and Sean Reddish get tangled up underneath.
Wildcats looking for the tying or go-ahead bucket on this possession. Martin in the lane. Wagstaff. Sean Reddish just pulls Wilkinson's singlet.
Oh, they give it to Cam Toby. Oh, they're giving it to Sean Reddish. Now they turn it around. Sean Reddish gets the foul. Gary Wilkinson is getting the crowd up for it.
This is the time that they need the crowd. As Wagstaff missed the 3. There's a shot clock expired, and then you can see it. Sean Reddish with a not-so-subtle foul, and that will be number 4.
Yeah, there's some fouls that you just have to call.
They had foul trouble in game 1. Foul trouble now in game 3. Wilkinson. Oh, he's big. Gary Wilkinson. 2 straight buckets for the Breakers.
And the big fella's got 19, and he's not settling for the jumper, but for 21 rather, he's going straight to the hole.
Reddish with those 4 fouls. Good defense. Toby. Crossover. Martin. Mikavakona pulls it down. 5 minutes, 35 seconds. Breakers lead by 4.
And this is a huge possession for the Wildcats. They need to stop the bleeding.
Abercrombie has it. Needs to go to work quickly. Martin looks up.
The Breakers would like to see a little bit more movement than that. Don't want to see the ball sticking in one place, as you heard Lamana say in the timeout.
Toby inside to Reddish. Outside to Toby. Contested 3. In and out. Wilkinson. Reddish battle for it. And it's Breakers ball on the baseline as Robbins and Jackson check in for their teams.
Wildcats struggling to score. That's who you bring back in is Matty Knight. Had such a scoring implosion earlier, and Cedric Jackson, who took over that third quarter, back on the court as well. And once again, a huge defensive possession for the Wildcats.
Under 5 to go in game 3 of the 2011-2012 series. The grand final has been everything it promised to be against the 2 best teams. And Gary Wilkinson with a heat check.
That's a perfect look. Great screen by Abercrombie, just couldn't hit it.
It's just so physical out there at the moment. Both teams fighting, literally. Lish with a clutch bucket.
God just stops on a dime. Looks like he's going full speed in one direction. The second he caught the ball, he just exploded up with it. Very difficult to guard. He brings his team within 2.
66-64. Breakers lead by 2. Abercrombie on the baseline, tipped. The Breakers will have it with 11 on the shot clock as Greg Hire checks in. And Cam Toby will take a seat.
Good minutes, hit the big three. Couldn't hit the second one, but that three was huge. Without that, they're down by 5 right now.
Jackson will inbound it. Bruton gets it. Casual three. Mikavakona just had more desire on that rebound between two Wildcats. Abercrombie for three. That can't drop.
Breakers looking for the dagger, trying to stick it in the Wildcats. Get their offensive rebound, work the possession, make them work defensively instead.
3 minutes 40 to go. Robbins to Knight. Lish. Abercrombie ends up with it after all of that. Breaks out of that Perth defense. He's limping a little bit as well as Tom Abercrombie. He looks a little bit winded as well. Probably hasn't played a lot in training. He's been resting that ankle. Wilkinson gives it to Vakona. Needs to go up with it. Trying to do too much. The shot clock's going to expire. That went out of bounds before the shot clock expired, but the referees disagree. And it will be Wildcat basketball.
Even had the ball been out of bounds, there would have been next to no time on the shot clock. Great effort by the Wildcats. Gary Wilkinson turned down a shot for the first time this season. He was open from 17, looks for his teammates instead. Right now, 3 minutes left. Who is going to step up for their team? Is it going to be the MVP Lish? Is it going to be the guy the Breakers thought that was the MVP? Cedric Jackson? Is it going to be CJ Bruton? So many guys out there have had such good seasons. Who will it be?
Okay, so right now, let's have Matty, Sean. Okay, so right now, Kev, you're working this.
Hey, you know if he's playing it that way, just circle around it.
Yeah, so you circle around. And right now, so we're running a kick back here. Now if they switch that, okay, Matty, you got to step in. So you're off the screen and step in. So as we throw it back here, we're looking at this action there. If we catch it and there's no shot, we're in circle. Okay, so out of there to here, Matty. Sean Strength, pick and pop and play out of that. Okay. The on-ball screen goes early on the red. Early on the red. This is us, balls. We go.
Rob Beveridge and Andre Lamanis looking to join Lindsay Gaze, Bob Turner and our Westover. There's double title winning coaches.
Only 7 guys on, or only 7 guys on this list after tonight. Somebody will be the 7th. But this is the moment that separates the men from the boys. Nothing but hard work and time in between you and a championship.
3 minutes, 4 seconds on the clock. Breakers, 2-point lead, Perth ball. Brad Robbins at the point. Redditch, Lish, Knight, and Hire. Matty Knight tied up by Wilkinson. Lish loses the handle. Dived on by Mikavakona, who looks up. 3-on-1. Wilkinson goes up on Matty Knight, gets tied up. Gary Wilkinson will go to the line.
Matty Knight still had some fouls to give. Mikavakona just grabs that ball, surrounded by Wildcats. Doesn't matter, he starts the break. What are you thinking about Matty Knight? That has to be a foul. Tried to make it tough, got a lot of basketball and a little bit of face. And that's gonna be a foul.
The face is not part of the ball.
Not a lot to complain about on that call.
And Gary Wilkinson at the line. A little bit of breathing room, 67-64. Matty Knight with his 3rd foul. Gary Wilkinson with his 22nd point. 23 for Wilkinson.
Wildcats really worked that Kevin Lish, Matty Knight baseline screen last time. I'd expect to do them again. The 2 best scorers on the same time, very tough to guard.
Damian Martin still not out there. Had a small cameo in the second half, but he's troubled by an ankle injury. Lish drives, comes off the front of the rim, and CJ Bruton has it. Cedric Jackson looks up ahead, decides to pull it back.
That's
2 minutes, 10 seconds. Breakers lead by 4. Jackson to Wilkinson, ball on the floor. CJ Bruton's partially open. Jackson has it. 4 to shoot. Abercrombie has it. CJ Bruton bangs it in. Big time basketball again.
And there you see it. Huge rebound. CJ Bruton explodes this building with a dagger three, 7 points with under 2 minutes to go. It's a difficult climb for the Wildcats from here unless they get offense quickly.
There is no one cooler in the gym right now than CJ Bruton. 11 points, a dagger three. Kevin Lish, no good. Brad Robbins with a great rebound. Lish again. In and out. Redditch with a putback. A minute 26 to go. 71-66. The Breakers lead, looking to go back to back. Perth scraping in themselves off the gym at the moment, trying to hold on as Jackson with a crossover and in.
Sean Redditch, he needs to talk about it. 7 points, 1:15 left. Huge drive by Cedric Jackson. This crowd is loving it. Alex Pledger's loving it. They can taste the title. They can taste the victory champagne. Only a minute 15 separates them. What's Beveridge got up his sleeve to try and stem the tide?
I don't want to foul yet.
Perfect pass.
We're looking for skills here. Okay, so we're looking for skills, so we're looking for flag. Right now. We don't have too many sets. We just got to play like driving this peg. Okay, so right now, but for this set, the ball's up here. Throw it in. Okay, right now, make the pass here to Matty. Okay, go and screen. Pop out.
And here's that huge three. CJ Bruton from the top of the key was never going to miss. And then Cedric Jackson with that lightning quick crossover. Brad Robbins had a piece, but not enough to stop him from getting to the hole. And that says it all. You can count it. CJ Bruton with a huge three.
CJ set the back screen.
It is so loud at Victor Arena.
CJ it is.
They are dying for another championship here in Auckland. They have been the shining light of sport in the last few months, not only in New Zealand's biggest city, but also in the country. Everyone is on the Breakers bandwagon. Everyone is dying to get the hottest ticket in town. And right now, they're a minute 15 away from repelling this Perth Wildcats challenge.
And stop here. That'll pretty much seal it. But if they're able to get a three-point shot, this game is far from over. Even at 2, with this much time left, some fouls. The Breakers haven't shot the ball great from the free throw line tonight. There's still a lot of basketball to be played.
Redditch drops a big three. Sean Redditch, so clutch.
And that's the nightmare scenario for the Breakers. The quick three, quick little screen. The Breakers do not switch it. Sean Redditch gets the open look. Great call by Brevich, great play set. And there you see it, just a quick screen by Lish. They were all worried about Lish. Instead, Sean Redditch steps back, hadn't hit a three in what seems like about 2 weeks, but he hits that one. Of course, it was 2 weeks, it was game 1. The Wildcats have a chance.
CJ here. You got Mika and you got Tom. So we're going to run shakes big from the out about actually. Okay, get it in first. So that's CJ. This is Cedric. All right, come out, get this catch set. CJ, come down here. Okay, G.
Probably get a catch.
And then you go through the other boys.
Then go give it to the Sam will come get it.
And then we got Cedric. Yeah. Then we got Cedric, G, CJ, Tom and Mika. Set it. Set the back pick. Cedric, you can turn the corner. You got G on
Wildcats will be looking to get a stop here. They won't want to foul just yet. They can get a stop. They still have a better chance. The Breakers, on the other hand, the Wildcats get possession. They have 4 fouls to give. They can keep fouling and make that clock work in their favor.
Over 9,200 Invicta on their feet, chanting Breakers. CJ Bruton, with 69 seconds to go, will inbound the ball. 69 seconds left in the season. Jackson, Robbins on him. Bruton to ice it. You better believe he ices it. There is ice water in his veins. Lish steps through. The layup is good. What a finger roll from Kevin Lish.
The Wildcats keep attacking. The quick baskets are keeping them in the game, stretching out the clock. Cam Toby fouls 90 feet from the basket. They don't want to do that just yet, but we are running out of time. If Cedric Jackson can't hit these 2 free throws, he's in touch as Cam Toby gets sent to the bench with his 5th foul.
Currently, Cedric Jackson is 2 of 6 from the line as Cam Toby takes a seat. Cam Toby had no choice to foul. Cedric Jackson just popped him with a massive crossover. He rocked him.
He does as he wants to do. That guy is lightning quick.
He can't get the shooter's roll.
It's massive. CJ Bruton. Cedric Jackson needs a bit of that right now.
Jackson makes the second, 6-point lead. Perth did a quick bucket. 45 seconds to go. Matty Knight inside to Robbins. Beautiful 2-man play from the Wildcats. Full court pressure. Jackson, can he free himself? Wilkinson has it. They need to get it across. Lob pass over the top to Jackson. He loses the handle. Lish to Robbins. Blocked by Tom Abercrombie. Bum wheel and all. What a block on Sean Redditch.
What hurt ankle? That's what Tommy Abercrombie says. And you see the wry smile. They can taste it now. 22 seconds left. It's not over yet, but they can taste it. It's right there.
They forgot about Tommy. Check this out. Pins him on the backboard.
Huge block. Fantastic pass by Robbins. But Tommy Abercrombie, no soup for you, Sean Redditch.
22.5 seconds away from deciding who gets this. At the moment, it's looking like the Breakers. 77-73. Plenty of time in basketball, though.
If you're a Breaker fan, this is who you want at the line. Mr. Clutch.
CJ Bruton with 2 of the biggest free throws of his career. 79-73. 13 seconds. CJ Bruton ties up Drew Williamson.
That'll be pretty much do it there. Professional foul. CJ Bruton knows they got fouls to give. 12 seconds left. Every foul gets them closer to that title. And there's only 12 seconds left before the Breakers do what was unthinkable not too many years ago and win back-to-back championships.
Last team to do that were the Sydney Kings when they three-peated. Breakers, 2 titles. And Dylan Boucher picks up the foulers. Jesse Wagstaff copped one somewhere.
Another professional foul. The Breakers still, that's their only 2nd foul of the quarter. Still have 2 more to give. There's a decent chance the Wildcats don't get another shot off this game.
Don't want to foul them as get the shot off. And Kevin Lish is irate he didn't get that call. But that call wasn't coming through most of the game, and the Breakers raise their arms up. Do you think they're allowed to celebrate now? Do you think they're allowed to have their time on their court to championship styles? Do you think they're allowed to have it now? As Williamson, and now Breakers have done the unthinkable, and they have gone back-to-back in 2012.
Boy, the pictures say it all right now. Elation and disappointment. Two sides of the coin. Everybody on that court tonight played fantastically. Effort, if it was based on effort, they'd both be champions, but there can be only one. And the Breakers have done it back to back. Aja Lamanis joins a distinguished crew of coaches. Only the 5th coach to win back-to-back titles. Only the 7th coach to have multiple titles in the competition, and they are celebrating.
They certainly are, so much so Cedric Jackson just chucked his sneakers into the crowd. A wonderful moment for this franchise, who've gone through so many painful moments. One that Matty Knight is experiencing right now, and Tom Abercrombie salutes this crowd. Let's go down to Dennis Katsanos, who has CJ Bruton with him.
CJ, grand final title number 5. Is this the sweetest one of all?
My son turned 5 yesterday. I got 5 rings. But my family's been behind me 100%. I can't say enough about my wife, looking up to my boys, and all our partners. This has been an amazing journey. Obviously, gone through a little bit of pain, but the Lord's never left me. That's one thing I can always say. The Lord is always with me, and he's got me to this point, and he will keep carrying me and my family.
When did you know you guys had this one? Because it was neck and neck the whole way.
You never know. You know, you play your heart out, and you got to lay the chips lay where they lay. Hey, you know, you miss a few easy buckets, you know, the crowd gets a little antsy. Hey, but you play in front of an atmosphere like this, 9,000. Hey, they thought that their fans were rowdy. Their fans were a little over the top a little bit, but hey, they did what they needed to do to get the win and bring them home. And for us, hey, our fans brought this home for us.
I saw you say something to the MC in terms of how to G the crowd up. What was that instruction, out of curiosity?
Hey, this is the last quarter. Hey, for 9,000 people being in an arena like this, that's enough to put anyone off. Hey, to stand up on that feet and cheer for us and bring this home was special. That was real special.
I think they must have satisfied your requirement, because that was a fantastic victory. Fair enough?
Hey, it's something that I'm never going to forget. Thank you.
Congratulations, CJ. 5 rings. Go and enjoy it with your team.
Thanks, man. Cheers, man.
And he, too, joins a special group. Big threes in the 4th quarter. Only the 3rd player with 5 titles, joining David Stiff and Larry Sangstock. What a game. And he did it in all 3 games. He was fantastic in the final series, but down the stretch late, CJ Bruton, big threes, big free throws.
Big scoring output from Gary Wilkinson, 23 points. Let's go back down to Dennis Katsanos versus Sean Redditch.
Sean, would it be fair to say this is the most intense series you've ever been a part of?
Yeah, it's, you know, Breakers are a great team. We've got a great rivalry going, and that's what NBL basketball should be about. You know, it was a great final series. Credit to New Zealand. They, you know, made the plays at the end when they needed to. But, you know, I'm proud to be a part of this team. These guys, we stuck with each other all year. We came up a little bit short, but, you know, and that's disappointing. But, you know, we still achieved a lot.
Yourself personally, I know you came up short today, but after game 2, that block was just sensational. What was going through your mind when you saw CJ had the ball with 19 seconds to go?
Oh, I mean, I played with CJ. He's a clutch player. He showed it again tonight. You know, I was just trying to make a play on the ball. You know, luckily I got a piece of it, because I know if I didn't, CJ was going to make that shot. He always makes that shot.
Do you think the rivalry will continue in 2012, 2013?
I hope so. You know, it's this is great for basketball, and you know, one, got the game on live back in Perth, which was great. Disappointing to lose. You know, it'll be you know, have nightmares for a few nights, but it's something to build on. We got a great team, we got great guys, and we'll be back.
anything you want to say to anyone in Western Australia?
Thanks, Perth. We got the best fans. You guys proved it on Friday night. And, we'll try and get home court advantage next time and win it back in Perth next year.
All right, well, commiserations, Sean, and good luck for next season.
Thank you.
Sean Redditch, magnanimous in defeat as Rob Beveridge and his coaching staff. He's going over the stats. They don't matter right now. And a nice little touch there from the Perth Wildcats, who applauded the crowd all around the arena to say well done. And let's go down now to Tom Abercrombie, who's with Dennis.
Thomas Abercrombie, 2 in a row. How are you feeling? I bet no pain in that ankle.
Oh, no, it feels fine now. I'm just ecstatic, man. I'm pretty relieved as well. Hell of a job today. We kept fighting. They keep coming back at us, but in the end, we made some big plays down the stretch, and that's all it took.
We saw the angry Tom Abercrombie come out tonight. I saw you give old Brad Robbins a bit of a push in one of those plays there. Never seen that side of you, but I think you needed it against Perth. Would that be fair to say?
Absolutely. They're a physical team, and you got to match that first and foremost. You want to beat them, and we did a good job of that tonight. And just proud of the guys. We played so well, and I'm very happy.
I know it's hard to do, but how does this side compare to the championship-winning team of last year?
This team's just as good. It's hard to compare them, but we've had a lot of challenges this year. It's not easy going back-to-back. Everyone's coming and giving you their best shot the whole season. We've taken everyone's best shot, come out on top again, so that's fantastic.
And would you say this one's a little bit sweeter than last year, or your first is always your first?
They're all pretty good. It's hard to separate them at this stage. I'll enjoy the night first and tell you tomorrow.
And what's it like having your very own sister interview you? I saw a couple of those. It must be a bit strange.
Oh, it's pretty good. She's a good little journo, so she asks some tough questions, so she puts me on the spot, which is good.
All right, congratulations, Tom. Well done.
Thank you.
And you just see the elation on his face. Has a lot to do with that huge block. The game-sealing defensive play. Sean Redditch had one in Game 2. Tommy Abercrombie pays him back in Game 3. And he may have been hobbled, but he's still got it going as we toss it back down to Dennis Katsanos.
Thank you very much, Casey. Andre, I think the most important question is, it's your second title back-to-back and you're still not smiling. What's wrong?
No, I'm obviously just soaking it all in right now. I couldn't be prouder of this group. We've played together as a team all year, obviously. With the changes we made in the off-season, some people thought that would make it difficult for us, but again, we've managed to prove that if you play as a team, you play together, good things happen for you, and like the people have come out and voted with their feet.
Andre, your regular season was outstanding. You were rewarded with Coach of the Year. Let's boil it down to this game. What did you say to these guys at halftime? They were trailing by a couple of points. It could have gone either way. What do you think was the key factor in your contribution to getting these boys across the line?
Well, as in any game, it's playing over the full course of the 40 minutes and just playing each possession. I thought in that first half we let a few things stress us out, and it was always going to be a competition. It's been a hell of a series, and I thought the guys did a great job of just playing each possession in the second half and playing with that just sheer desire to go out and win it.
Some of those timeouts towards the end of the game, what were you saying to the guys? What were you trying to instruct them in terms of, there was a couple of points in it.
Yeah, well, again, it depends whether we were on defense or offense at the time, and what defensive structures we wanted to be in or what we wanted to run offensively on the next possession. So, again, the whole thing for me is about the team. Those guys deserve all the credit. Like the Coach of the Year for me, is an individual award is rubbish. It's all about the team. Those guys, not only them, but all the support staff, assistant coaches, everyone who sacrifices and puts in for the good of the group, they deserve to enjoy this.
Would it be fair to say that you have very, very good foundations in place for the future?
Yeah, absolutely. Again, we showed this year that we can lose some players, and we've got the depth of talent coming through. We do a great job with those young guys and developing them, and that's I think the beauty of sport when you see someone like Fletcher contributing the way he did tonight.
Andre, congratulations. They're looking at me saying this man's got to go get a trophy, so go grab it. Cheers. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, what a fantastic game. What a fantastic moment for basketball in New Zealand. It's great to see you all out here tonight. Over 9,200 came down to see two teams to slug it out in what it was an amazing Game 3. Congratulations to the Perth Wildcats on an amazing hard-fought final series. You guys are an incredible organisation from the front office to the court. You really are a champion team, even though you did not win today. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome to the stage the Chair of the Board of Basketball Australia, the Honourable Christina Keneally, and representing IINet, the league sponsor, the Chief Regulatory Officer, Steve Dolby.
Ladies and gentlemen, what an amazing grand final series this has been. There's no doubt the fans here tonight, the fans watching on television, have been part of an electric series, and we want to congratulate both of these very fine teams for the effort they've put in. To the Perth Wildcats, you have our commiserations for falling short tonight, but you have put in a tremendous effort. You have done your club, your city, and your state very proud. We're very pleased you're part of this competition. And to the champions, the New Zealand Breakers, you have done something tonight that only 5 other teams have managed, back-to-back championships. You have made your fans very proud. You have made your nation very proud. And we are thrilled that you have brought your skills to the NBL this year. Thank you. Tonight we mark not just a grand final win, but a 3rd season in a row where our attendance in games has gone up, where our viewership on television has gone up, and it's the resurgence of basketball in both Australia and New Zealand. Now, I have to thank 2 very important groups of people. The first are our partners who make this league possible. So I want to thank, and join me please when I finish, IINet, Centrebet, RentSmart, Virgin Australia, Spalding, And One, 10, and Sky for their invaluable support. And ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, let's put our hands together for one group of people who are often the unsung heroes in basketball, our officials tonight, for their dedication and their hard work this whole season. But lastly, I and everyone involved with basketball want to thank our fans. You have made this season fantastic. We look forward to next year with great anticipation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and good evening, everyone. It's wonderful to be here tonight as another brilliant IINet NBL Championship draws to a close on such a high. Congratulations to both clubs for such an amazing performance throughout the season, and thank you for providing us with such a close final series and a thriller, an absolute thriller in this championship decider tonight. IINet has been the proud sponsor of the NBL and the WNBL for 2 years now, and like the awesome fans here tonight, we at IINet are very passionate about the net. Our commitment to customers is to drive ourselves to provide the best internet experience possible, and through our ongoing relationship with the NBL, we're playing a central role in bringing this wonderful sport to a wider audience online. Like the Breakers and the Wildcats, we are already looking forward to the 2012-2013 IINet NBL Championship season, where you'll not only see your favourite teams competing on the court, but also the ever-popular IINet Quick Shot competition, the NBL Dream Team, and online tipping continue. thank you again to all the players, to the administrators, to the sponsors and fans for such a great season. And of course, congratulations to the Breakers on their fantastic win here tonight.
Thank you, Christina. Thank you, Steve. I'd like to call up to the stage, please, Coach Rob Beveridge and your co-captains, Sean Redditch and Brad Robbins.
I remember coming here over 5 years ago, playing up North Shore, and there was 2,000 or 3,000 to a game. And then tonight to play in this facility with over 9,000 people, absolutely fantastic, tremendous. I take my hat off to the New Zealand organisation, Paul Blackwell, your management team, Andre, all of your staff, absolutely fantastic effort. I think that tonight was an absolute cracker. We always knew it was going to come down to the end there, and CJ, you've done it again. You put a dagger in. Congratulations, 5 championships to CJ Bruton. Well done, mate. To my group, I spoke to you. No matter what we do, we're always going to fight hard. Immensely proud. I really thank you guys. You really worked hard. I think the 2 top teams put on a great show tonight, and really proud of you guys. To all of my support staff, you guys are the best. To all of our corporates that have come over, we've got all of our board, our owners, they're over here. But to all of our fans up here in the stands there, not as loud as you guys, but they did a hell of an effort tonight. And to my family, thank you for all your support. And really love you guys. Can't wait to play the Breakers next year in the grand final again. And hopefully we can bring it back to Australia. Thanks very much.
Okay, I'd like to bring up the Perth Wildcats to receive their trophies for runners-up. First up, I'd like to bring Brad Robbins and Sean Redditch back up. Ladies and gentlemen, if you give a round of applause for these players as they come up, that'd be great. Damien Martin. Kevin Lish. Drew Williamson. Cameron Tovey. Greg Heyer. Matthew Knight. Jesse Wagstaff. Luke Neville. And Jeremiah Truman. Head coach Rob Beveridge. Assistant coach Sean Dennis and Andy Stewart. And Peter Nalder, the team manager. Ladies and gentlemen, runners up, the Perth Wildcats. Certainly was a hard-fought grand final series. These 2 teams slugged it out in game 1, game 2 and game 3. And like it was last year, there has to be a finals MVP. Last season it was Tom Abercrombie. His ankle robbed him of some serious minutes this grand final series. But it should be no surprise who is going to win the Larry Senstock Medal for the most valuable player of the 2011-2012 NBL Grand Final Series. And to announce, and Steve Dolby has the medal there, and the winner is none other than CJ Bruton. All right, shall we bring them up? The winners. Back-to-back champions of the 2011-2012 IINet NBL Championship, the New Zealand Breakers. I'll get them to come up one by one, that'd be great. Thomas Abercrombie. Dylan Boucher. Daryl Corletto. Gary Wilkinson. Leon Henry. Cedric Jackson. Alex Pledger. Mika Vicona. Benny Anthony. Josh Bloxham. Dion Brewster. And number 23, CJ Bruton. Coaching staff and management, Andre Lamanos, head coach. Dean Vickerman, assistant coach. Judd Flavel, assistant coach. Chris Milbank, team manager. Steve Buckley, strength and conditioning coach. Anusith Boafone, team physiotherapist. Ladies and gentlemen, your champion, New Zealand Breakers. And can I please bring up to the microphone head coach Andre Lamanos to say a few words.
Thanks, Andrew. Firstly, I'd like to just get all you guys to one more time, just show your appreciation for the wonderful contest that the Perth Wildcats have put up, and that's what makes a grand final series. I'd just like to, again, congratulate Perth on 26 years in a row they've been in the final series, and that talks to their organisation, obviously the success of that group, and we always enjoy having hit-outs with you guys, and we, as you said, Rob, look forward to more contests next year, but well done to you guys for a fantastic season. Thanks for a great final series. I'd like to obviously thank the public of New Zealand. You guys have been outstanding this year, getting in behind the club and supporting us. I think we had 7 sellouts during the regular season. We sold out all 4 of our home games during the playoffs, and to play in front of this crowd and the support that we get on the street from you guys, and just to see the way basketball has grown within this community has been a great fun ride, and we really appreciate what you do to make this team the team that it is. So we hope you enjoy watching us play, and we thank you for coming out. Obviously like to thank all the sponsors of the NBL, obviously IINet as the naming rights sponsor, but also the sponsors for the Sky City Breakers. Sky City came on board and took us to a new level this year as far as professionalism is concerned, and has really raised our profile within the community. And thanks Sky City for all that you do for us and your support of the Breakers family. And I'll try to keep this short, but obviously all the office staff who work their butts off every day to put on this show for you guys, and have the pressure of selling 9,500 tickets in a day during and it was Good Friday as well during the semi-final series, and all the work that they do and the positiveness that they bring to the club. Thank you for that, for Richard and his team. Obviously for Paul and Liz and the board. And the values they bring to our organisation that make us who we are, and the continued support, encouragement and belief that they've had in me, this program and these group of guys here. So thanks Paul and Liz and the board. And finally, obviously, this group of guys here have been outstanding to work with. The changes we made in the off-season, there were many who thought that this year would be a tough year for us. And once again, we showed that if you're prepared to work together and play as a team, you can achieve great things, that you can play a great fun style of basketball that people enjoy coming out and watching. And these guys have just been a pleasure to coach every day. They come in, work hard, they work together, and just can't be more proud of the job that they've done together this year. So well done, boys. Thank you. And I'd like to give a special shout out to my wife, Angela, for all she puts up with. So thanks, babe. Give it up. Did I announce the trophy? Yeah. Do I do that? You do that?
No. Yeah.
Thanks.
Ladies and gentlemen, Coach of the Year, Andre Lamanis. It's time now to hand over the trophy. And it's to be presented by Christina Keneally and Steve Dolby to hand the trophy over to whoever wants it. Who wants it? CJ, Dylan? There we go.
Celebrations for the Breakers as they join an elite group of teams to win back-to-back titles. They are the 2011-2012 IINet NBL champions. Do stay with us after the break. More reaction and celebration with the Breakers' victory.
Of not only this year's worth of hard work, but years and years of hard work. And when you finally win it, it's just such a feeling of elation. There's nothing better than standing alone at the end of a season and saying, we are the champions.
Some amazing shots here from our ultra motion cameras. And Dean Vickerman, very, very happy. The contribution, I think, one thing that Andre Lamanis said is the contribution from the support staff was outstanding. And I don't think a lot of people see a lot of the hard work that they do.
Yeah, certainly, everybody has a part to play. The managers, the guys bringing the water bottles, there's so much work. The work that Ananus Bunisa did with the physio this year. Noose does a great job with the Tall Blacks as well, but he really pulled some guys to some injuries. And for both teams, I think for both franchises, it's a team effort. It's not just the guys in the court or the management staff. It's everybody's involved with the team.
Casey, right at the very start of this match, we said it could have gone anyway. The fans, was that the key to pushing the Breakers over the line?
Well, I think at the end, the way the crowd reacted to those big buckets, when it was still a 3-point game, a 1-point game, and when CJ Bruton hit that three and the roof just exploded out of this building, it was an amazing sight. And as a player, that crowd can really push you over the hump when you're feeling a little bit tired.
Casey, to the people at home, how would you describe the sound in the stadium?
Well, what? I can't hear you because my ears are still blown out because it was that loud. I mean, we're sitting up top. We have our cans on, so we can only hear each other. But the sound just penetrated those with ease. There was no problem whatsoever.
And there is Daryl Corletto, one of the newest members of the Breakers, taking the first cut of the net. Casey, it is. It's absolutely deafening. Our ears are ringing. I'm very glad you can hear me. A little bit of lip reading going on as well, I must admit. That's how loud it is in here. And here's blocks him. The next cut, and with Daryl Corletto, is Andrew Mulligan.
Daryl Corletto, how does it feel to cut down another net?
Yeah, that's an amazing feeling. You know, personally, it's been a roller coaster the last 9 months, but you know, the boys did the job tonight, and this is the icing on the cake. I couldn't ask for anything more.
I said in commentary you thought you'd finish your playing career as a Tiger in the league, but you won a championship with the Breakers. I mean, like you said, what a ride. What's this feeling like right now for this franchise?
Oh, I love the Breakers. I said from the first week I was here, I wish I played my whole 10 years here. They're, you know, the way the club's run with the owners, Paul and Liz Blackwell, and everyone in the office, from Richard to everyone else, it's an amazing club. And I'd heard that playing in Melbourne, but to finally be here and to see what it's like, it's a place I never want to leave.
What a challenge from the Wildcats tonight.
Yeah, we knew there was going to be a war, and that's one of the greatest series I think ever. It was a battle. Everyone battled out there, and you know, everyone was making hits. And I'm just thankful, finally, I've got number 23 on my team, CJ Bruton, to come through in the fourth quarter. I've seen him do it, watching it on TV, so you know, I'm so happy to be on his team.
What was the crowd like tonight? Because at one point, it was just pandemonium.
Yeah, they've been amazing. And, you know, that's one thing we lost in Perth. So we said as a group, you know, we need to reward these fans for turning up every week. And to sell 9,500 tickets in about 20 minutes, I think it was, it's an incredible feeling for the playing group. And everyone in the office has done a lot of work. And, you know, hopefully we can play all our games here next year. That'd be great.
Well, congratulations. You're a champion again.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And Julie Corletto looking on very, very proud of her husband as he collects another IINet NBL championship. One of the stalwarts of the Breakers, Dylan Boucher, had a little stint with the Bullets, won a championship with them as well, and then came back in another two with the Breakers. He is just a tireless worker, and as you can see, he is one of the biggest fan bases at the Breakers.
Yeah, everywhere he plays, he had a little stint in Perth as well, but everywhere Dylan Boucher plays, he's well appreciated by the crowd and less appreciated by the opposition. But anybody will tell you, who's played with this guy, he is a great teammate to have. He does so selfless. Everything he does is for the team to win.
Well, let's head back down to Andrew Mulligan.
Dylan Boucher, this is championship number 11, both in New Zealand and Australia. You have enough of those to make another net, it seems like.
I tell you what, this one's bloody sweet though. You know, like, it's so hard to win back-to-back championships, and I hope everyone realises how hard it is. And you know, we played a quality opposition in the Perth Wildcats, and they weren't going to lie down, and they didn't lie down. But this crowd, man, it just speaks volumes of where basketball's come in this country. I mean, I dreamed of playing in an arena like this, you know, at the start of the Breakers, and here we are now, back-to-back champions, carrying these little bits of net around. That means so much to us.
I mean this with all due respect, but you're a grizzled veteran. 2001, the Oceania qualifying series against Australia, another formative moment for the Tall Blacks in international play. How does that match your championship run in 2002? How does it match to something special here with this franchise?
All those moments are right up there. You know, they've obviously have a different place in my heart, but you know, international basketball is one thing, but what we've done here with the Breakers and this organisation is something pretty special, and we're not done yet. You know, this team will be back for a three-peat. Don't you worry about that. And you know, most of the team will be coming back, and you know, we're looking forward to the challenge again. Have you re-signed yet? Not yet, but now's a pretty good time to go and talk to them. What do you reckon?
I reckon you add another zero.
Hey, if you're listening, Rich, you heard that. But no, I mean, I'm definitely want to come back. I'm not done yet. I'm enjoying this too much. And, you know, if we can continue this winning stuff, you know, who knows when I'll retire.
CJ Bruton, can you describe him?
One word that subs him up, and that's clutch. He's clutch, you know. We go like this. He's got big kahunas because he takes the big shots, you know. Like, I love playing with the guy. He's the reason I'm back at the Breakers, you know, and I've loved every moment of every season I've played with him, and I've watched him time and time again make big shots, and tonight was no different, you know. CJ's CJ, and he's one of a kind. I'm going on a limb saying he's the most clutch player that I've ever played with and ever had a part of being a part of.
You played with a lot of great players as well, Dylan, so congratulations, you're a champion again.
Thanks, and thanks to everyone back home that couldn't make it. Man, this is just awesome.
A very happy, a very proud Dylan Boucher, and yes, he said it. He said it, Casey. I was waiting for someone to say it. Three-peat.
Three-peat, well, that's the next step. Want to bask in the glory of number 2 for a while yet, but, you know, starting tomorrow, that's what guys start to think about. As much as you've worked hard for a title, and right after you win it, you already start going for the next one. That's what the great players do, and there's a lot of great players on this team.
Well, one man celebrating right now, might be a little bit sore tomorrow after his physical battle with Matt Knight, is Gary Wilkinson. He's standing by with Andrew.
Just a little bit of a moment there for CJ from the crowd, another one. You scored 53 points in 2 games, but you can't get the MVP trophy because of that man. How do you feel right now, though?
Hey, I feel amazing. I mean, that guy deserves it. He was unbelievable in the series with his leadership on and off the court. I mean, this championship feels even better than the last one just because of how hard we've had to work. The adversity that we've faced has been unbelievable.
Yeah, not many imports returned to the team after one season. This was obviously a big decision to come back.
You know, it was a big one, but it was an easy one. We love it here. I mean, the organization's great. New Zealand's unbelievable as a country, and the fans have just been unreal. So, I mean, it wasn't too hard to come back, and we'll see what happens in the future. We love it here.
What were you thinking down the stretch when it was starting to get close and Perth were fighting for everything?
It's just a matter of, you know, buckling down on the defensive end and coming up with loose balls. I mean, Mika had one where he, you know, went through 5 people, got the rebound, outletted it, and we went down and scored, you know. So it was those big plays down the stretch, Tommy's block and offensive rebound. Those are the things that we knew we needed to do, and we did it.
You played in some big arenas at the collegiate level, like Cedric Jackson as well. How does this crowd rival, although it's a little bit smaller, how does it rival what you've played with?
Oh, awesome. Unbelievable. I mean, the momentum that they generated here, you know, how loud they got, they were unreal. I mean, I couldn't ask for a better crowd. They just got behind us, and they helped us to a win.
You're going to pat Riley in and guarantee a three-peat?
I don't know about that, but I know that it's definitely possible.
Are you going to stay a little bit longer in New Zealand as well, Jess?
Oh, we love it here. I mean, what more can you ask for? Atmosphere like this, wonderful people, back-to-back champs. It can't get better than that.
All right, it's great to have you. Enjoy the night. Enjoy the time off.
Yeah, we will, definitely. Thanks, Andrew. Appreciate it, man.
Maybe we will have the Wilkinson staying for another year. Cedric Jackson doing a little bit of ad-libby impromptu rapping, I think, Casey?
Yeah, that was the interview I wanted to hear. I want to get some audio in there, see what's going on between these two. There's going to be a lot of swag on display tonight.
It's a battle. I think it's a battle. Is this a battle?
A friendly battle. Definitely not a real battle.
Yeah, definitely. Yes, a lot of emotion there. Casey, look, a lot of new viewers watching the basketball tonight. The tradition with the net and also CJ Bruton having the last part of the net. Could I ask you for an explanation?
Well, you know, when you win a title, everybody who's involved with the team, they get a piece of the net. You know, the coaches, the players, some of the support staff. Then when that big piece, you know, it kind of goes to the most important guys. Sometimes it's not based on the game itself. Like Paulinari got the big net last year because it was his last game he was retiring. This year, I think, you know, it looks an honor of CJ Bruton joining the list of players with 5 titles and his clutchness, his MVP. You can't really pick a guy who's more deserving of getting that neck on his neck right now tonight than CJ Bruton.
Well, let's see if we can get Action Jackson to do a little bit of rapping on camera for us. He's with Andrew.
It's currently shoeless Action Jackson, shoeless. He chucked his sneaks up into the crowd. What a crowd.
Oh, it's awesome, man. They had our back all season long, so it was just perfect to us having here in New Zealand.
I mean, you get to the hole so easily. You're lightning quick. Your crossover's amazing. How hard is it playing against this Perth team? Because you are one of the most fouled players in the league. They are a physical team.
It was difficult tonight. You know, they definitely tried to take away a lot of my options. But that's the great thing about our team. We have a lot of weapons. So, you know, just fed it to the open guy. We're an unselfish team. So we know we just used what we got, and we were able to come through.
You said earlier on in this season, you said it's the best team you've ever played on because of the family atmosphere. You still believe that?
Hey, without them, I don't know if I would be here, man. You know, because this is my first time ever away from home for an entire season, and without them, I don't know if I would have made it the entire season. So I love this group of guys, you know, down from the top guy to the lowest guy, man. So this is just the best decision I ever made.
And you played with some great players in the NBA when you had stints there. What was it like playing with a player like CJ Bruton? Did you hear of his reputation?
Oh, man, I've just been, you know, taking in all the information he's been giving me all the time. You know, just he's just a great person. You know, everybody knows who he is, and also just veteran players, Dylan Boucher, you know, Mika Vakona, you know, just great guys. You know, knowing that the guys or seasons won't be lasting as long as yours because we're younger. So the best thing to do is just get everything you can out of them and listen to them, and just add that part into your game. And they just help me stay confident this entire game.
Are you coming back?
I hope so, man, but we'll see.
Ever the diplomat. Back to you guys.
Yes, very, very diplomatic answer there, Casey, but it raises a good point. How do you keep the collection of players that Andre Lemanis has at his disposal together? That everyone will start sitting there going, I like him, he'd be great in our team.
Well, to be perfectly honest, you don't. I think it's going to be very difficult to bring all these guys back, especially with certain players like Alex Pledger, Thomas Abercrombie getting bigger contracts. I think, you know, there's been some talk about Alex Pledger taking Gary Wilkinson's minutes. It's going to be very difficult to keep Cedric Jackson as well. He's a world-class player. And if you can get them back, you do, but you never know what's going to happen.
Well, hopefully they can. One man that worked tirelessly for the Breakers tonight, he was disappointed with his game too, said, don't worry, I'm going to pick it up in game 3 and give it everything, was Mika Vakona. Let's join Andrew Mulligan with him.
All right, Mika Vakona is with me right now, guys. And Mika, you played in a 5-game series with the South Dragons back in 2009? 2009. Would you play 5 games against the Perth Wildcats in a series?
No, I'm fine with 3, man. Our bodies are done. I mean, I think both teams, you know, had challenges, you know, against injuries and that, but no, 3 games is fine for me.
And this win tonight, I mean, you've obviously played with the Tall Blacks. I talked to Dylan about that earlier. What is this like for a club team, a franchise, to get this kind of crowd, this kind of environment, this feeling around the country? Because not just in Auckland, but around the country, to get them behind you.
It's amazing, man. I mean, I'm totally speechless. I mean, to see everybody come out here tonight, 9,200 or whatever. I mean, but to have that kind of support throughout the whole week, I mean, throughout the whole season, you know, it hasn't been just tonight. So, I mean, thank you to all that have come out and supported us this year.
And what are some of the differences from winning last year to this year?
I mean, we still had the same core of group guys, but, you know, we had different obstacles. You know, sometimes they say it's a little bit harder to get up for a, you know, second championship, but man, we battered our asses off the whole year, and this series in particular.
All right, congratulations, Mika. You're a champ.
Cheers, man. Thanks, Andrew. Cheers. Thank you.
Yes, Mika Vakona, champion indeed. Well, Casey, that sums up the season. If you had to sum up the grand final series, they painted it as a classic. Would you say this is probably, and I know I'm going out on a limb, but probably the best one in the history of the NBL?
Well, I haven't been here for every final in the NBL, but this is the best one I've seen. It's the best one that I've been a part of, being up close and next to, and the effort that these 2 teams displayed to go along with their, you know, I don't want to say hatred, but their dislike of each other. They want to beat each other so bad. It was just made for great theater on the court.
We're looking at a banner that says Alex Pledger, the chief. We commented about the unsung hero. He was amazing again this evening.
He was fantastic. Once again, so efficient. Came off the bench with big minutes. Didn't play a lot of minutes, sorry, but he had a lot of effect on the game. Great points, timely buckets to keep the Breakers ahead. And his ability to really make Matty Knight work down low was also extremely important for the Breakers.
And he did contain Matty Knight very well in that second half.
Especially, you know, Matty Knight 15 in the first half and just about shut the door on his offensive game in the second.
Yes, there it is, the IINet NBL trophy. The Breakers in a bit of a conundrum. Will they be hanging that banner at the North Shore Event Centre? Will it be hanging here at Victor Arena? Will they have sellout crowds next year? All these questions and more coming towards the end of the year. On behalf of Casey Freak, myself, Andrew Mulligan, our wonderful crew who have turned out an amazing production. Thank you to you at home for watching. Thank you to the Breakers for the amazing entertainment. And we will join you later on in the year when hopefully they can do a 3-peat. But tonight belongs to them. Back-to-back champions, the Sky City New Zealand Breakers.